Good evening, everyone. We are, oh, tell me when good evening, everyone. And we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. And, everything is scarce now. So we have to make do with what we have, or we should learn to make some of our things. So this evening, we know we only have an hour, so I need to rush through my preparation here. Today we're making a sweet potato lasagna, and I had to make my own ricotta cheese and also my mozzarella cheese. So I'm going to supplement it with my other cheeses that I bought, but just so we get things, I need to put it together so we could put it in the oven. So we will put it together together. Isn't that something? Okay, so we're going to start with putting the marinara sauce in the bottom of our bowl. I hope you can see this. And after we do this, I'm doing this first because, it take a little time to go, and I really want to do some other things while it's in the oven. It takes about 35 minutes to bake. I'm just going to set the oven at 375. So, and we use the mandolin to cut our potato. It's a sweet potato, just like this. So the slices are pretty thin. If you had a more fancy thing, you could also have the slice. You had a fancy tool, so we're using the mandolin. We're going to put the slices in next. I'm sure I should have enough. If you don't have a mandolin and you're going to use a knife, it's not likely you will get the slices that thin. So, and the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to put some of the ricotta cheese that I made, and it looks sort of good. We use the tofu to make it, extra firm tofu, and some seasoning, some garlic, a little olive oil, and we put some nutritional yeast in there. That will get it to be cheesy, make it cheesy. And some lemon juice. Okay, so we'll have another layer of that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of my, now you're going to put some baby spinach on there, but you make sure you lay them flat so it's not. So, add a layer of baby spinach. After that, we'll put some more sweet potato. I think you'll have about 3 layers of sweet potato when you're finished. I think that's good enough. Okay, we're gonna put a little bit more sauce in there. Good. Then put some more sweet potato on there. And then we put some more ricotta in there. And remember, when you're dealing with vegetable, when it's baked, it's going to shrink. So you won't have a high rise like when you're making the other kind of lasagna. Okay. Spit that out in a minute. You can also use this ricotta to make stuffed shells and things like that. Anything you actually use the regular. Just kind of spread it out now. Actually, I'll put a little bit here. Another layer. This is labor intense. You know, you have to, just want you to see how it's done. This is my last one. Okay, so far that's what it looks like. We're going to I have the last set of now this is going to be the last row. Then we put on the mozzarella cheese. This is actually the topping. And you really need a good sized potato to do this. And this is really a small one I'm making, so you'd have to make a bigger two. Okay. Now, I'm gonna put, this is my mozzarella cheese that I make in the refrigerator. I mean, in the freezer, and because I took it out, I'm not gonna use all of this, I'm just showing you. If you take it out before it starts to melt and it doesn't work as well. So I'm not going to use all of it. I need to put it back in the freezer. But I'll use some of it because we want to see how it. And believe it or not, it melts. So I want to put some right on top. I tell you, make it with tapioca starch and yogurt. You have to use a cashew-based yogurt to do that. So and this is the one you can get from the mozzarella cheese you can get if you buy the plant-based mozzarella cheese. So we're gonna put this on top. And when, just before it's finished, you want to make sure you get some of the sage with some rosemary, crush up in the cheese. That will make it taste really good. So let's open that. Remember now, you bake this at 375. It's about 35 minutes. Okay, that's enough. I'll just put a little bit here. So this is what it looks like. So we're going to put this in the oven and about 35 minutes. You should be able to eat it to take about 15 minutes to cool. But I wanted to do this first so in case we have some time to see it. Okay. Put this in the oven. Okay. This is all my paraphernalia to make this lasagna. When you make the cheese, it looks like this. You have to freeze it and then take it out and grate it. We'll post a recipe if you'd like to try it yourself. But there are several plant-based cheese you can buy if you don't want to make the cheese yourself. It's not a long process, but it's labor intensive. Okay, now I want to go right into trying to these are the end part of my, they don't look that attractive, but those are my today I'm going to make some eggplant. My eggplant, as I said, they're the last from my garden. So these are the run to the letter. Got a good thing going this year, the eggplant. Not too many, but enough to keep you eating eggplant. And what I like to do with my eggplant is just to saute them and make it I don't like to put too many stuff on there. So I was telling somebody I love to eat eggplant with just about everything. I love to eat it with okra, chickpeas, onions, and garlic. And some dry spices. So that's my all colored peppers. This is, I'll just cut up all of them because, you can really store it eggplant. You can store your eggplant. You can keep it after you cook it. You can freeze it. Not bad. This time of year, I'm always, worried because it's the end of the growing season and you have to start buying stuff in the supermarkets. And I looked the other day and everything was high price. So I don't know how we're going to make it out this winter. This winter we're going to have a hard time, so we're gonna have to make things stretch. Cutting up the eggplants is the hardest thing about it. To get my ear up a little more. Didn't want to mess it up. Here. Get it in. Use onion and garlic and peppers, tomatoes, everything I throw in the pot. these peppers, I just cut up the whole thing, seeds and all. They're not really hot. These are just for colors. Put them in the pot after the eggplant. Right. Onion, it. I have my garlic all grind up now, so I don't need to smush my garlic anymore. All right. There's my garlic. I had it all grind up. So make space for you to see what we're cooking. So you can go. No, just love to eat oil. So what I normally do, right, gonna put the seasoning in first before I put the eggplant. Eggplant doesn't take all of my. I put in the dry seasoning and some of the seasoning. It's one. Okay, gonna just normally use about a teaspoon of the seasoning in there. And I put it in before I put the eggplant. So I think that's good. Start. Now I'm going to just put this in. And I'm going to just leave it like that, and let it, I'm going to cover it so it starts to settle it. So we'll revisit that after a few minutes. I always put the garlic in almost to the end of the cooking, so we won't put the garlic in right now. Okay. I said some of the other things I would like to do for Thanksgiving. I love to make sure that I have some collard greens. So I didn't bring all of my collard greens because I didn't think I had time to cook it. But this is part of my collard greens. I always have some greens, or you can make a big salad to go with your lasagna and stuff like that. But I love to have my collard greens at Thanksgiving. So I make sure that I always leave back some so we can get some for Thanksgiving. So I have collard greens. And as I said, we have salads. But I always say in the morning of Thanksgiving, because you're cooking gonna take some time, I said, make sure you have a great breakfast, maybe an overnight oatmeal bowl, and just fill up that tummy so you're not hungry, so you'll be snacking all day. So you will have space to sit down and have your dinner. So have this nice big bowl of oatmeal and get ready for your afternoon meal. And you know the sun set early now, so we can have maybe 4 o'clock you'll be ready and you won't have to snack in between. So those are some of the things. This is the kind of yogurt that I use for to make our cheese. It's a cashew base and it's plain unsweetened. So that's what it looks like. And we also use in there some miso. This one is made from the chickpeas. So we're going to have to find some other recipes to use that. And we use lemon. And as I said, it's not a lot of ingredients. We only have about 5 ingredients. We use some nutritional yeast and the major thing we use in there is the tapioca starch. Some people know it as cassava flour. So that we use. Make sure it's up to date so it becomes starchy like. And of course, to make the ricotta, we only had about maybe 5 or 6 ingredients. We had the tofu, we had the nutritional yeast. The yeast make it taste cheesy, so it's important to put that. Some garlic and lemon and some. Okay, this is what our nutritional yeast looks like. It's flaky, but it's really, when you're making your own cheese and stuff like that, you can put up to 3 tablespoons of this and it make it, whatever you're making, quite cheesy. So it's nice. And I put a little bit of onion or shallot. So you will have that taste in there. And so if you have parsley, some fresh parsley. So I would tell you something. Cooking for Thanksgiving is best to start early, and so you don't make yourself all stressed out. and make yourself tired and all of that. So you can sit down and enjoy your meal and enjoy your company. So, and I think the best thing to do with Thanksgiving is not to make it um so stressful that you can't enjoy it. So another thing I made for Thanksgiving for my drink, I sure enough made some sorrel. This sorrel is something that is really enjoyable, and it's something that it's easy to make. Put it in, put it in the refrigerator and leave it for a couple of days. And most of you know how to make sorrel. It's you have to get the petal, the sorrel, and dry it with some ginger, lots of ginger, and hot water. And don't put too much sugar in there. Enjoy that tart taste. Some people don't like my sorrel. Okay, we did take our it's just that we're gonna try to cover it because it start to get brown here. If your cheese start getting brown, you can cover it and make sure it doesn't get all too brown. A little golden is fine, but not this brown. So you can cover it with some foil. So this is so far, it still have some ways to go. And I'm sure we can probably show you before the end of the program. I like this to be interactive, but I don't know how many people is online today. So if anybody has questions, they can send me a text or send me a question by email at Petgrave's Kitchen at gmail.com. Anything that we cook today. First, we're going to try and put our recipe before Thanksgiving. Okay, this is what progress of our eggplant looks. It's gonna take some time because it's cooking slowly. But the key is to make sure you put all the seasoning and you put the spices in, and so as it cooks, it will give the eggplant the flavor it needs, and it will get, of course, it will get soft and delicious. So we're going to just let it cook slowly as it ought to, and you can enjoy it later. So I hope you have enough information that will give your Thanksgiving a little bit of, something different, little alternative of the things that we normally eat. And if you spend the time, you can accomplish much. So I am hoping that you enjoy this Thanksgiving. And if you have any questions or have any concerns, make sure you get in touch with me. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving.